Hi, I'm Julia Henze, urban sketcher and art teacher based in the Netherlands. Most of my YouTube videos are designed to help amateur artists and urban sketchers improve their architectural sketches, but I also like to encourage artists to try other topics and techniques. With the holiday season around the corner, I know many of you will be making hand-painted greeting cards for family and friends, and no card is complete without an inscription. So, if you're worried that you will mess up the writing on your greeting card, this video is for you. I will explain how to paint beautiful letters in two different styles. I'll be writing Happy Halloween on this pumpkin sketch that we made in a recent workshop. Workshop participants can add the inscription to their sketch. If you didn't take part in the workshop, you can just practice the letters separately or add it to your own Halloween sketches and greeting cards. If you like to get access to the recording on the workshop, follow the link in the description below. There are two workshops you can buy: Halloween Pumpkin Workshop with watercolors and Spooky Pumpkin Page with gouache and colored pencils. You can buy these workshops separately or as a bundle. Alright, before we get started, you already know what to do. Like my video, of course. Also, put a pumpkin in the comments to let me know you love sketching them. Ready? Let's dive in. Okay, so for this tutorial we will need a pencil, a kneaded eraser, a brush, and it's quite important to use a stiff brush like this one, for example. It's Cotman, Winsor Newton Cotman round brush, size 4. You can use any other synthetic stiff brush, and stiff is very important because especially if you're a beginner with lettering, with drawing, with painting letters, then it will be very difficult for you to paint with a soft brush like a squirrel, for example, because you have no control about the brush, and it will be just very difficult to paint the letters. So we will practice painting these letters from our Halloween pumpkin workshop. And as you can see here, we have two different kinds of letters. We have more like written letters and more like hand-drawn letters. And we will actually use quite the same technique, but in a bit different way. So to paint letters, we actually need to draw them first. So we will start with the guidelines, then we will draw the letters, and then we will paint them. Okay, so let's start. And I'm going to draw these letters of the word happy on a slight curve, as I did it in this picture, while Halloween word will be straight horizontal. Okay, now let's draw some guidelines. We will start with a happy. Let's draw it like this. So we actually need the bottom of the letters, and I think this will be a little bit too high. So this is the top. So we need actually the guidelines for the top of the letters, for the bottom, and for the bottom of the descender, the lower part of the letters. And in this case, we have the shape of the pumpkin. It will be a little bit different on our practicing sheet, because I will just show you how to draw letters in general. So we will draw a less curvy line here, or maybe it should be a little bit lower. Okay, so and I first I draw the letter H, and it will be quite large letter, and I do it like this. It's not that long, and I want to make it quite elegant and beautiful. So I draw beautiful curvy lines like this. Okay, maybe we need to move the lines a little bit lower. I think they are a little bit too high now. It should be more like this. And now we can yes, this is better. The idea is that you draw the guidelines, and whatever they are, just use them. But I think this will be better, and this is why we need the eraser, and we start with a pencil, because we can change things. Okay, so and here we have the letter P, and it will be like this. The round part of the letter P is quite similar to the round part of the letter A. I mean, it's pretty much the same size and the same roundness. The next one, next P, and I will move this line here, so this they won't be on the same level, and that's absolutely great. These letters are on the same level, and the H is just on its own, and the Y. And let's make it a little bit more elegant, so it will go like this. These are fun letters. Not perfect, just, you know, nice to have them next to your beautiful pumpkin illustration. Okay, now let's draw the Halloween word, and we will do it like this. The same as in my pumpkin illustration, I will do it on 2 separate levels. Hello will be on one level and win will be on another level. So we need a second set of guidelines here. Maybe a little bit higher, like this. Okay, and now I draw the letter H. We can draw it quite wide because we have enough space here. The A and the L. And let's draw the width of the letter, the horizontal line, and then we have the O here, and it also can be quite thick, like this, a wider letter, and here we have this horizontal line. Okay, so and here there are different options. What we can do, we can draw the horizontal line here in the middle, or at a high level, and I actually think that the lower level is quite fun. So you can choose to do it differently, but I will do it here, and that means that it will be also on the same level, at the same level here, for A and also for W. The middle part will be at the same level as all the horizontal lines. It's not very necessary, but I think it will make our letters more consistent and the picture more interesting, more beautiful. And here we have the letter E. I make it a little bit wider now. But if you want to, if you don't have a lot of space, you can make them thinner, of course. And the N will be quite like a little bit handwritten, like with it with the O. It's more this style, so it's a combination, and it makes our sketch very fun and playful. I mean, not the sketch, the letters. Okay, and here we have 1/3, I think, something like this, for the horizontal parts, and this part, the of W. Okay, so we actually have all the letters. We can start to paint them, and this is the most fun part. Kneaded eraser, very convenient for stuff like this, especially if you draw your letters, paint your letters on watercolor paper. A regular eraser can damage the paper, the watercolor paper, while kneaded eraser is very gentle, and it only lightens up your letters and doesn't actually erase them. Very convenient. Okay, so what we need to do, I'm going to do it with my brush, round brush, size 4, and I will paint with a paint gray. It's a dark color, almost black, but it's a little bit bluish. One of my favorites. I do not use black in my paintings. I only use Payne's gray, and I think it's more interesting, more beautiful color than black. But if you want to use black, it's okay for lettering. Oh, and before we start to paint letters, just let's take a quick look at how to do this. Okay, so this is the rule that we will use for handwritten letters. When we go up with all our letters, we will paint thin, almost no pressure, so a very thin line. When we go down with our brush, we will paint thick. So here we also go up, so a thin line. Here we will go down, so again pressure and a thick line. Okay, here we start with almost no pressure and we press harder, and here thin line, thick line. So every time we go up, we use almost no pressure and paint with a thin line, and when we go down, we paint thick with more pressure, a thick line. Okay, so let's try. And don't get upset if it doesn't work for you at the first time, because it's quite difficult. Your hands are maybe a little bit shaky. Okay, so we go up and we paint a thin line, and I cheat a little bit, and that's absolutely okay, because we do it just for practice, for fun, and to add some more interest to our drawing, not for perfection, right? And when we go down, I use a lot of pressure and I paint it like this. Now maybe we can make it a little bit better here. Yeah, it's also a little bit difficult for me because I'm not a hand letterer, and I also need some practice. So we go up, thin line, we go down, thicker line, up, thinner line, like this. Now the next one will be the same. Important not to have hair on your or any other stuff at the tip of your brush. So we start with a thin line and we go down with a thicker line. Thin line because we go up, and thicker line when we go down and up. And we can make it a little bit more refined, but do not do it too much, because the more you try to correct your letters, the uglier they probably will become. At least it's my experience. Because you start to do things that are not necessary, and maybe your hands are a little bit shaky, so it's a bit tricky. Okay, so we go down again like this, and now we go up, and with a little bit of pressure, press a little bit hard on the brush, take some more paint, and go up again. Let's make it a little bit thicker. Okay. The next one, we go down. We use a thicker line. We go up and down, and it's a thicker and thinner line. Okay, and now the Y. All the same, thick, thin, thick again. Some correction, and we go up like this. And I think it will be better if I correct here my letters just a bit, add more darker paint. Okay, so this is how we paint happy. Halloween is a little bit different, because these letters, or at least some of them, these letters are hand drawn, not written, so they all are separate, they are not connected to each other, so it's a little bit easier to draw them, to paint them. And this one is more elegant, and we will use the same technique as for this one. For the letters of Halloween, we will use thicker lines on both sides of the letters, like this. And so the vertical lines will be thick, and the horizontal lines will be thin. Here, the vertical line is thick, and the horizontal line is thin. The vertical line is thick. Also here, let's paint it at once. And the horizontal lines are thin. Here we do the same as we did with the previous letters. Thin when we go down, thick when we go down, and thin when we go up. And again here, thick and thin. And some correction is absolutely needed here. But don't overdo this. Maybe here. And another thin horizontal line. Okay, more paint. Thick line on both sides, both vertical lines, and in the middle we have this. These are not horizontal lines, but we need something thin, the difference between thin and thick. Okay, it's important to have a lot of paint and a lot of water on your brush, otherwise it will be difficult to paint. Okay, thick, thick, and horizontal. Oh, this one is a little bit too thick, but that's okay. And this one, these are the thinner lines. Again here, thick, up, thin, down, thick, and thin again. More darkness. For a better look. Okay. So here we are. How did your letters turn out? Let me know in the comments. Before I go, I just want to remind you that I have 2 Halloween workshops for you. There are recordings of live workshops and they take you through a step-by-step process of creating a colorful Halloween sketch. Follow the link in the description. Have a great day. See you in a bit.